What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games. It's been a couple years since I checked this one out because for a long time, nothing got announced about this game. I figured it just got canceled. Well, the development team has been back for a while now, and I've been watching to see how they're updating the game and whether they're back up on the horse. As I understand it, like they had to get day jobs or something in order to support the development of the game. But today, we are checking out a title called Archmage Rises. We've checked it out in the past, although all of those videos are now outdated because the new build of the game functions entirely different than the last build of the game that we checked out. All these years later, they've reconfigured fundamental systems, the flow of the game, what the focus of the game is. It's changed around quite a bit while still maintaining a sandbox feel. So we're going to dive in today. We're going to update that coverage because it makes my ass itch when there's videos out there that have outdated information in them. And so when I see something on the new and upcoming that invalidates everything I've done on a game, I've just got to get something more modern and something more representative where the game is currently at. If you've never seen this game before, it's kind of like Dwarf Fortress Adventure Mode if you were just a guy in a fantasy world, and you can do whatever you want, man. You can go fishing, you can chop down trees, or you can ascend and become the Archmage of the entire world. And so the fun there lies in the procedural nature of this game. Almost everything is procedural, although I found that the quests are very, very convincing in their proceduralism. Like, it actually looks at all the various events and whatnot when it creates quests, and that's kind of cool. So today we're going to play the game for as long as it takes. I got a link for you down below in the description. Be forewarned, this game has gone through development troubles, and it is in early access, so be careful with your money, but I do think they have a solid foundation with this new build to get things cracking. Alongside a link to this game, you can find a link to a whole bunch of other Nerd Castle stuff, just in case you wanted to give it the old saucy, sexy, spicy, intimate click. But let's go ahead and start off a new game, shall we? So I'm going to create a new world. I've played the game for about 3.5 hours, but I just deleted my old world. I was using it to kind of explore the new systems and what we can do. A raster? That's a really good name for a planet. I kind of like that. Let's go with a raster. These are the only things we can adjust. You're not able to go into the advanced menu still after all of these years. It's one of those games that's been in early access for a long time. But let's generate it. And what you'll see is it's actually building a history for our world, just like Dwarf Fortress does. It's putting dungeons in, it's causing rivers to run, it's checking for plagues, people are being born, they're dying, relics are being forged by legendary blacksmiths, all that kind of stuff. All right, our world has been generated and it's all good to go. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to do the quick character creation because the normal character creation is really long. It's just not suited to a video. I do recommend that you do the long character creation. It'll remind you of something like Ultima, where it asks you a whole bunch of questions about whose side you're on, what your opinions are about things, and ultimately assigns your stats based on that. But for the case of playing the game here on YouTube, I'm just going to do the quick character creation because it's the difference of like 15 minutes of reading to you guys and just getting it done right now and getting into the game as fast as humanly possible. So we're born. We've just got to decide whether or not we are male or female. I'll go with a dude character, and then we've got to come up with a name for this guy. I don't know what my ultimate goals for this character are going to be, but I want him to be a threat. I want people to look upon him in fear. They want to cross the street when my wizard comes around. So I'm going to name him Angus McKickham. There we go. And then from there, we get a choice of 3 different origins that will give us our rough starting stats, our acumen at various types of magic. Really, you should assume our character starts the world as a 17-year-old that just graduated in a school of magic from magic college, basically. And so we can be an arcanist. That'll allow us to have arcane magic. It looks like it gives us politics, philosophy, and history, astronomy as interests. It also gives us scholarship and persuasion. We can go with pilgrim. That makes us strong. We can handle animals. And we have storm magic, or we can be a hermit, which starts us out with ice magic. All of the magics in this game function differently. I'll explain the differences between them once we get into the game, but for now, I think I'll probably start off as a pilgrim. I like storm magic in this game, and storm magic is one of the trees that kind of functions by itself in a bubble very, very well. The other magical trees, you got to kind of like combo them with other magics and stuff like that, and it takes a little bit of training to get to that point. There's all the stuff we started out with. These are going to be all of our rivals that we graduated from college with. They are also trying to become the Archmage. We started out with a short sword, a lockpick, an antidote, a torch, 280 bucks, and a bunch of different magics and affinities and resistances and stuff like that. A guard stops you on the street. Angus McKickham, right? Chibo left this for you. It seemed important. He hands you a letter written on fine parchment and sealed with a splash of deep blue wax and the mark of a signet ring that seems somehow familiar. It takes a moment, but then you recall. It's the insignia of Iseult Seward, a Conclave scholar in the place that you grew up. You haven't spoken in years. Angus, I need your help. It has long been my ambition to find the lost tower of Mabrin the Archmage. Yada, yada, yada. All of this text out of the way. Basically, we're investigating what happened to an Archmage a long time ago because he had all kinds of zesty secrets that could make us more powerful wizards. And the Conclave is kind of like the Wizards Guild in this game. They definitely want their hands on stuff like that. So we've started out outside the village of Vardrith. In this game, everything is procedurally generated, from the populations to the services that are going to be available inside of different towns. But for right now, if we go back out to the world map, you'll see this is where we're at. We haven't really explored or done anything of note just yet. Also, be forewarned that this game is kind of a slow burner. This is not a game that's ultimately going to be satisfying inside of like your first 2 hours of playing it. It took me a solid 4 hours of playing the game before I really got into the groove and started to have fun with it and understand what my goals were and what I was trying to do. But here in Vardrith, let's enter town. They don't have a gate around it, so we don't have to pay a gate fee in order to get in, which is always nice. This place has a bunch of other services around, and you can see from mousing over what places might have jobs. Getting a job is going to be important because we need to get ourselves paid, because we are missing a lot of the fundamental things that you're going to need, like crafting tools, camping supplies, stuff like that. Not having those things makes the game really expensive to play because then you have to pay for those things to be done with you or for you. I would like to get that stuff, so I think we need to start out with some jobs. We could just go to the Conclave chapter and start the main storyline quest, but there's no time limit on it, so why bother? Over here at the armor, it looks like they have a job. It's embarrassing, but could you just like buy something from my shop? I just completed my training and opened my shop a couple of months ago, and I barely sold a thing. If a real mage bought something I made and wore it into battle, maybe people would take notice. I don't really know what else to do. If I don't start seeing some coin cross my table, I'm gonna have to close down and go back to being an apprentice. Okay, well, he wants us to be the Steph Curry to his brand right now, but I'm not even a G League wizard, so I don't know if that's a great plan. I'll do it, like, there's no time limit on it. What are you selling right now? Also, what did we start out with? So we've got rough cloth chest armor. It makes us resistant to magic, but it's useless for everything else. Okay, yeah, I feel like buying something here may actually be a good idea. When buying stuff, pay attention to the stats. You may not notice it at first glance, but all of the gear in this game is also generated procedurally, just like Diablo. It can have a wide arrangement of stats on it. I'm going to buy the chest armor because it's $100 for really good protection. And so we've got plate mail. We're a wizard in plate mail. That's right. This game does not restrict you based on the gear that you can wear. And so we'll slap that on real quick. Boom, baby. Rough plate chest armor has been equipped, giving us 12 protection. Protection is a stat that you have inside of combat. It's like a ring that goes around your health bar down here, and you've got to destroy someone's protection before you can get to their HP. So that's good, and then it'll make us reduce our damage from physical sources by 9. And since the vast majority of threats in the early game are going to be physical threats that are trying to punch you in the throat, that's a good thing. That's going to help us out a little bit, and this is probably going to be an upgrade that we're going to wear for the remainder of the video. And so now he wants me to go out and kill some goblins while wearing this armor. I can do that, but what I'd really like to do right now is we're going to leave this place, and I'm going to go to the Conclave. One of the functions you can do in this game is the services inside the Conclave. You are a Conclave member. That means you can walk into their library and you can research various types of magic. I would highly recommend, you want this bar on the side right here to be chock-a-block full of different spells and different elements and things you can do, because the world outside is very, very dangerous, and your magic is the only advantage you have against it. There's a reason why everybody just kind of huddles in towns in this game. It's dangerous out there. So I'm going to start out by researching Arcane for a couple of days, and then I'll probably research... Well, I think just Arcane will do it for right now. I don't think I'm going to need any other schools. So let's just study Arcane 3 or 4 times. It'll probably be about 2 weeks of shoving my nose in a book, but it'll be worth it. So I spent about a month sprucing up my arcane skills. That's only given me one spell right now, which is this game's equivalent of Magic Missile, but that's okay because Magic Missile in this game, it nerfs the enemy's elemental resistances so that you can deal double or triple damage, so it will be helpful. From there, the game has changed around now. I need to find goblins to kill. That means I need to go to somebody in town, and I need to ask where goblins are at. They say that there's a gang of goblins 4 miles to the west of here. So let's go back out to the world map, and there you go. You can see that it's been tagged. Now, in older versions of this game, every single tile was its own ecosystem, and you could go into that tile and explore it and find resources and stuff like that. No longer. Now, there is no lower level to any of the tiles. However, while you're walking around, the game is making those exploration checks just behind the scenes, and you can discover things like a copper outcrop, or you can find something like potion reagents, like a field of herbs over here, and your map will slowly get populated with all of the things that you've found as of late. You can also ask people in towns where those things are at to give you a little bit of a heads up, but it is very, very RNG based whether you find it or not, so just keep trying. Honestly, one of my bigger frustrations with the game. Over here in the middle of a clearing, some unique tracks have caught your eye. I'm going to lie in wait. You spot an unsuspecting... Oh, good. We got stealth level 2. Well, that's nice. You spot an unsuspecting group of goblins. We have a 65% chance to ambush them. We have to fight the goblins in order to finish that guy's quest and get ourselves a little bit of cheddar. So... let's just do it. It is way more goblins than I thought there was going to be, and there's a wizard. Pretty strong chance this may end up being incredibly fatal. The good news is running away from combat in this game is not actually that hard. Now, in this game, it is turn-based combat, and you only have a few stats that you're going to need to mind this entire time. So we've got our protection bar up here, which does exactly what I described earlier. We have our health. When that goes down to 0, you are dead, and the game is over. This is a permadeath game. There is no softcore setting that allows you to, like, save or anything else. So keep that in mind when choosing your decisions. Now, it is a very forgiving permadeath game. I have never failed to escape from a combat yet in 4 hours when I needed to. But just keep in mind, you can die horrifically in this game very, very easily. I'm going to start off by throwing some arcane bolts at that goblin over there. And so there go our arcane bolts. Down here, you have 2 different meters. This one is your AP. So the more AP you have, the more stuff you can do. And then the pink meter that's at the top up here is how much mana is inside the air, or like how much mana you've managed to accumulate, like Goku going, ha! And charging up. Every single turn, you charge a certain amount of mana, and you kind of spin up like a minigun. In this game, all wizards are miniguns, and so keep that in mind while you're plugging on through. I have enough AP to stab a guy, but I can't get the spell off my clicker right now. And so I'm just going to pass my turn, and we're going to hope we don't get utterly slaughtered. We did manage to kill our one goblin, though. That means that we can evac from this fight whenever we want, and we will still succeed at the quest. These guys are bunched up really nicely, but it's going to kind of depend what he does. He put Corrosive Cloud on us. That's not good. It hurts. We're going to go with Storm Strike over here because it has a chance to bounce to other people that are around us. It's only a 30% chance, but it might have worked for us. It would have worked if I had drenched them down like so, but it didn't play out that way. Bypass the turn, and if we end up taking too much damage, I'll probably run for it on this turn. I don't want to wait too long, but these guys are getting buffs and stuff like that that are making them stronger and scarier to deal with. He's going to force pulse me. Yeah, let's go ahead and try to run for it. Run difficulty is 5. This game uses a D&D system, so you're going to roll a D20. You've also got a running and athletics skill that'll make it more likely that you get away. And so we escaped. We got 20 XP towards our storm skills, and we killed our one goblin. That way our quest is done. And so we managed to, like, sneak in there, snipe one. Let's go get our paycheck. This is a new feature. The game has randomized events that will show up while you're cruising around. Some of them are time limited, some of them are not. It's up to you whether or not you want to go and investigate them or not. These ones stay permanently, and I think there's 40 or 50 of them inside this inaugural build that rebuilds how the game works. I haven't had any repeat events yet in 3 or 4 hours, but your mileage may vary because I think they said on the update notes that there's like 45, so that's low enough that it's possible if you get a bad dice roll, you could see the same event twice. We can enter town, and I needed to talk to, was it the armorer? It was the armorer that we got that job from. Let's stay. Actually, I'm going to pass time right now till the next day so that everything opens. And then I did what you asked. You're back! Thank Adarin. I've been praying for your safe return. The minute you walked out the door, trade started to pick up, and it's been a night and day difference since then. Here's your gold and a little bit extra. I can't thank you enough. He paid us 1,000 gold for that quest. That was not what I was expecting. So, seeing as we've had a very, very nice financial windfall, I would suggest that we come over to the outfitter, and we're going to buy everything that we need to survive in the game world, because that's a huge amount of money. I'm going to buy a camp. That way I don't have to pay inns in order to rest. This yellow meter right here is how tired you are. It doesn't always go down when you move around the world map, but when it gets down to 0, if you do anything other than rest, you have a chance of, like, having a catastrophic heart attack and dying on the spot. So maybe don't toy with fate like that. So I'd like to get a pickaxe, a hatchet, a knife, a hammer. Do we have torches? We do have 2 torches. Okay, so that works out pretty well. I'd also like to buy... Did I buy the camp already? I bought the camp already, so we're good there. Thieves' tools would be nice, but I'm not planning on doing any dungeon diving just yet. We're going to kind of live on the surface of the planet for right now, because dungeons can get dangerous. There's a number of other social functions you can do inside of here. The meter on the left is how much this person likes you. This right here is how much their shop has leveled up and how good the equipment will be that they offer. If you see a little symbol next to the quest that they're offering you that looks like a hammer and a wrench crossed, it means that it's going to help them level up and become a stronger crafter so that you have access to better loot and stuff like that. If you've got the time, I could use a load of wood with all these young mages. Hey, listen, lady, we just met each other. Aspiring adventurers taken to the road here. I could barely keep torches in stock. Bring me 5 logs. Okay, I can do that. Let's go ahead, and do you know where trees might be at? I don't know where the nearest grove is. So it looks like we can get it in Bolmar and buy it, or if we're looking to harvest it, it's 7 miles to the east. Okay, I will give that my best go. I do not want to go to Hill. But one thing to note in this game is that every single hex that you cross counts as 1 mile. And so we've gone 3 miles right now. They said that it was 7 miles to the east, so that would be like 1 tile beyond right there, I think. And if it's down here, it'll pop up. And so let's have a little look around. There it is. We found the timber grove. Good. When you find an actual grove, it will be permanently marked on your map. It's the same whether you find an iron vein, a silver vein, an herb field, or whatever else. It will be permanently marked on your map. It will tell you when it regrows if you harvest it too aggressively and kill it all off. But for now, we don't really have any magical supplements in order to help us get wood faster. I know, right? Little blue spells. But we can hew trees for a little bit, but you can see it's going to very negatively affect our stamina. So, like, we're probably going to have to camp out here and hope for the best that we don't get attacked on the road. So let's sleep inside of our tent real fast. We got lucky. We did not get attacked during the night, so I'll break down camp, and I'm actually going to try to harvest as much wood from this location as I can while we're over here, because wood is pretty valuable, and we can sell it inside of any town that processes wood. So if there's a paper maker, if there's a carpenter, or anything else like that, we can sell them our wood to get like an extra couple $100 after we turn in the quest. And so I try to be very efficient about this stuff. There we go. So we've got 18 wood. We managed to fell the entire field. Let's take this back over here, and the names of towns are not revealed until you go into them, and so I'd like to go into them. But we need to drop this back off over here. And in entering town, I'm actually going to sleep in the inn for tonight so that we get better bonuses. Because we're both hungry right now. The hunger meter in this game, I think, needs to be a lot more visible. But if you look at your character sheet, you can see how hungry you are right here. We're real hungry. When you're too hungry, your well-being starts to go down. I've never actually torpedoed my well-being down to 0 just to see what'll happen, but I can make the assumption that it's probably not good. You probably get, like, I don't know, giga leprosy or something. I just noticed that my character hates fashion. It kind of bums me out to know that my guy is going to be utterly dripless for the remainder of his mage life. We're going to walk around like Miyamoto Musashi, just looking unkempt and better than everybody else at the same time somehow. A walking contradiction. But let's stay at the inn for the night. I will stay in a nice room. We don't really need to heal or anything else like that. But the well-being bonus and also just the amount of stamina we'll get back will be nice. And that should wake us up in the morning. And now that we've been woken up in the morning, I forget who I took that other quest from. Was it the outfitter? There we go. 5 logs as requested, and I didn't tell anybody. Stone, oak, perfect. These torches are going to burn for hours. I knew I could count on you. Here's your pay with a little more in return for discretion. I'm not religious myself, but my clients believe that they're on the brink of a breakthrough in their quest to recover the 7 lost doctrines of Elhandrin. So hopefully that means something to you. It does not. I don't know what the lost doctrines of Elhandrin are, but I hope you find out, and I hope it goes really well and it brings you much love and success. Also, she likes me a little bit better. I'm going to compliment her real quick. There we go. And now she's in a neutral mood, and we're working our way towards a friendship. I can go for flattery. I have 6 persuasion. Let's try. I rolled a 3. Oh, no, I failed to flatter her. But it didn't take... What's my persuasion at? Oh, I thought I had 6 persuasion. It was saying that the threshold was 6. Okay, sorry, I don't believe you. She's now ambivalent to me. It really kind of backfired on me. We can chat, though, and then we need to go to the market. I don't know if they'll buy my wood over here, but if they will, that'll be... Oh, I can sell the cloth armor, too. Throw that on the pile, and then wood is only worth 6 each. That's not great, but every little bit of money helps in this game, and then I'm going to counter-offer soft. Oh, we critically failed. And we insulted them by critically failing. Unfortunate. This is looking entirely too much like my normal D&D campaigns. Well, I was trying to haggle for a better deal. It probably had like 15 gold on, but whatever. We'll take what we get for right now. And then I need to kind of like fix the damage here. So I'm going to compliment them. And then I'm going to flatter. A difficulty of 17? I failed again, and now she doesn't like me. She disapproves of me as a human being. I didn't expect her to be that difficult to flatter. Just take the damn compliment. God. Look at the stink face she's giving me right now. Do you have a job for me? Yeah, thank Edarin you're here. I'm waiting for a shipment of goods from Philip and Goldcrest for about 5 weeks, but he's not going to send it because there's wolves on the road, and his cartmen are too scared to make the journey. I want to go get rid of them and clear the road for good. You're not scared of a couple wolves, are you? I mean, yeah, a little bit, but... I guess I'll go take care of your wolves for you. Do you guys have an armor? I need to get more gear so that I can fight stuff. We've got some okay boots over here. I'll go ahead and buy those because I don't even have anything equipped on my legs right now. So we might as well just throw something into the slot. It's more protection and it's more resistance, which we are absolutely going to need if we end up getting attacked by things. I was hoping I could pick up a helmet, too, while I was here, but I suppose that's just the way that it goes. Hey, do you know where I can find wolves, by the way? A howling pack was 4 miles to the southwest of here. Okay, oh yeah, well, that's not 4 miles. That's more like 6 miles, but there's something over here. Let's go look and see what this is first. Let's lie in wait. It's a pack of goblins. I will fight them just to see how much damage I can get off and how much XP I can get for free, but I'm not going to hold my breath about clinching a W here. Arcane Missile's out. We've killed off one of the runts nice and early. This dude on Wargback, he's going to be an issue, but we'll work our way through it. 10 damage has gone out right there. Okay. Yeah, they're definitely whittling me down. It's exceedingly painful, but let's put a little bit of heat on these dudes. Every time I put a magic missile on them, it's increasing the damage from my next non-arcane spell by like 20 to 40%, so it builds up until you can ultimately just nuke somebody down instantly. I'm going to pass my turn to save my mana. I got sliced a little bit more. We're really only going to stay in until my armor breaks because we're getting mitigation from our armor. Ooh, he's going to stab me. That's not good. Okay, lightning that guy. He's now dead. Let's go for arcane missiles over here. Arcane missiles are out. And then we're going to stay in for one more turn, and then we're going to run for it. Yeah, because he's through my armor. He injured my leg, unfortunately. Hopefully, that does not affect my run attempt. We escaped. Good. We made it on out. So we should get a little bit more athletic, and we got a little bit of XP to boot. If you do manage to kill off the enemies, so with this right here, minus 30%. Oh, we get an infected leg if we don't fix that. Well, that's not good. Okay, I gotta go back to a town with a healer and get myself fixed up. So the healer's hut over here. Heal all injuries. Injuries carry a risk of worsening, may get worse. 50 HP, less well-being, we lose some nourishment, and it takes a week. Damn, dude, this guy just like blew out my hammy with one attack. My football career is over. Let's try to mend first because it's really expensive to get rid of this thing. Actually, may want to study magic for a little bit. It says it expires and that there's a chance it'll get worse in like a week. So I'm just going to spend my downtime studying magic. Hey, 13 days of study later, and it looks like my leg has healed itself. Unfortunate, not the way that I wanted our first adventure outside of town to go, but unfortunately the way that it went. I also need to feed myself real quick. So let's go eat some pottage surprise. Pottage surprise should keep us rolling, so we should be all right. Is my wolf tag still down here? We gotta go through mountains, man. That's kind of nightmarish. Lie in wait to see what this is. It's more goblins. Goblins didn't work out for me last time, so like, I'm gonna keep chugging down this way. And let's lie in wait. It's another group of goblins. So when somebody recommends you go check out a location for the enemy that you're after, it's not guaranteed that you're gonna get that enemy. You've got to keep at it. So we go out, we check the point. If the monsters aren't there, then we got to go back and ask somebody again. It'll make a new point. It's not the best system. I feel like it could be better, but it's the way that it goes this early in the game. Let's take them out, and then I think that's good enough for right now. On their turn, they're all going to move forward. Like, this group is actually beatable, so we might be able to win this if we manage to put out enough damage. So these guys are both going to shield bash. That's not great. I can cancel that by using Mage Hand, like so. So they are no longer going to attack on their next turn. But I didn't get to get any attacks off myself either. The good news is that shield bash right there, it stuns you, and they can actually make it so you don't get very much AP on your turn, which can be a big problem as time goes along. Let's go with, so I'm going to put Cloud Burst on that guy right there. He's now drenched. We're going to go for Storm Strike, and unfortunately it did not bounce to anybody else that was inside the attack grid, which kind of sucks. I'm going to nuke him down. We did get the proc on Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt always has a chance to double cast, so oof, armor's about to get folded. That's not good. We didn't get the double proc on Lightning Bolt just yet, but these guys are almost through my armor, so let's run away real quick. Oh no, I failed. This may become problematic. I might die. Yeah, I'm getting stabbed pretty good. That's not ideal. Let's try it again. There we go. Now we're out of here. And we did get a decent grip of XP from that one too, but unfortunately now I gotta go back to town, so off and away we run. Although we do have a monster spawn over here. Is it wolves? Goblins. Okay, not worried about goblins. So I went to town and I paid the healer to heal me up the best that they possibly could. It was only 20 bucks, so that wasn't too bad. Let's ask her if she has a job. She actually wants us to go hunt spiders. Okay, yeah, I can do that. We can go kill some spiders. There's no duration on that quest, so it should be perfectly fine. Let's see what we can find, though. Well, I found some spiders along the road, finally. That took forever. Like, I've been walking around going to areas looking for spiders all over the place, and it has not worked out. But I finally found our spiders. Hopefully it's enough of them that we can actually get the quest done. Oh, there's like big spiders in here, dude. That's a beefy one, and it's like twerking at us in a hostile fashion. I don't like that. Keep it friendly, you know? All right, well, let's Arcane Blast down the little spiders first. I think one of these spawns more spiders, so we're going to have to get on top of that before things fall apart. He's preparing to pounce. He's preparing to pounce. So we're probably going to want to, he's going to acid blast me. He does look like he has little acid holes weeping all over him. Trypophobia triggered. Let's see if we can melt a few more of these guys just to get them out of our face and limit the damage here. I don't remember how many I had to kill. I had to kill 3 spiders, and we've already done that, so, like, we can escape right now, and it's all good. I do like the way that quest progress in this game, it doesn't require you to win the battle. You just kind of have to kill the requisite number of stuff they tell you to go kill. I find that to be good. I could try to mage hand somebody, but I think I'm out of AP and energy, so let's just let them do their thing. We'll see how hard this hits. 20. Yeah, that's a considerably large attack right there. So we need to mage hand that guy so that he doesn't summon more spiders. And then I'm going to start... Oh, we got a crit. Hell yeah, we got lucky. Okay, so let's kill off their Vanguard guy right there. And this may actually be our first victory in battle. What does Web Snare do? Lose 2 AP every turn and can be purged. Okay, well, like, why did he web snare his own guy? Did he, like, miss me or something? Because my debuffs are over on this left-hand side, so, like, we are taking a lot of damage right now, though, physically. I need this big mob to die, and I need this big mob to die like yesterday. So we'll line him up with some arcane magic, then hit him with 30 with the lightning. Not gonna be enough to bring him down to even half health, so that's life. He's about to summon spiders again, though, which is actually really good for us, because I can just cancel that. And then I'm going to do the exact same shtick one more time, trying to fish out a crit. You can, so the game starts out with very slow combat gameplay. You can adjust the speed at which animations play inside the options menu. I do highly recommend you do that, otherwise battles just start to take forever. Let's go ahead and douse him with water, and then that will make this double crit. Yeah, there we go, double hit, that's good. And we should have enough left over to kill off that little spider back there. All right, down he goes in our first victory in combat. We're not going to get anything for it except for a bunch of XP and, like, I feel like, so they need to add trash loot to the game. Killing monsters in this game, very, very deeply unsatisfying because all you ever get is, like, 20 bucks for killing them. Trash loot that can also be used for alchemy and experimentation and to, like, amplify your research and study would be a really, really good idea. But since the game is in the process of a rebuild now, like, years and years and years into its early access, might be asking too much. 60 arcane XP, though, that's pretty good. And we leveled up, so yeah, we're now level 4 Arcanist, so we get more XP now. Good. Well, the spider quest is done. I still need to track down the wolves. Oh, we got an event over here. In the center of a small clearing, you find a pedestal with a glowing gem surrounded by dead adventurers. Are you my D&D GM? Do you know my personality? You know that I'm going to go touch that gem, right? You have to understand that by designing this event, I am not like the rest of these idiot mooks that all died trying to touch the gem. I am superior, I am a main character, and I will touch the damn gem. Let's check the dead bodies first. They haven't started decomposing. They must have died recently. Examine their wounds. They haven't been... Oh, nice. My medicine went up to level 2. The adventurers haven't been singed, petrified, or electrified. They may have died for the orb, but all of the gashes were made by common weaponry. Loot the bodies for sure. So we got a great axe and 32 gold. Oh, I want to take the gem too. Why did taking their gear just assume that I didn't want the gem? I thought I was going to be able to do both, bro. Man, let's go see if these are wolves down here. I doubt it, but like... Goblins. It's always goblins, man. Every single time with this map. Procedural generation, I would recommend. It's really unsatisfying to get a quest ping from questioning people in town and they're like, oh, the wolves are over there. And then you spend 20 minutes going to these pings and every single time it's not the quest mob that you need. I would consider changing that. It's very, very wasteful. These tracks right here, unfortunately, were a dud. So let's just go turn in our spider quest real fast. We do have a choice here where we can pick whether we want to give the spider venom to Avis or if we want to give it to Beatrice. She wants to use it to poison weapons for mercenaries and make a bunch of money. She wants it to make the town safer. Because I'm not a dick, I'll probably give it to the healer. It just feels like the wiser idea. And so, there you go. I killed the spiders for you. Here's where I left them. I knew I could count on you. I'll head out there straight away, collect some venom, and start experimenting. At least we can begin to make a difference. Here's some gold for your labor. The other people are probably going to be mad at us, though, for, like, not giving it to them. I will compliment her, and I'll ask how her day's going. You know how it is? You know what? That would have been a deeply unsatisfying answer when I was 19, but now that I'm older, I definitely get it. Like, you know how it is? I do. I do indeed. I did get a quest to find some goblins while we're out here, but I kind of want to tack out with, like, better stuff. And so, Weaponsmith, what do you have? I could use a hand with something. The mayor has ordered a shipment of halberds for the new guard units, and I'm scraping the bottom of the ore barrel. I need someone to mine metal ore for me and bring it back. Okay. Where can I acquire metal? If you're looking for metal, plenty of people get it from Razor, or we can go 5 miles to the northeast. All right, I'll do it. That sounds fine. And then as far as services go, I can sell the Great Axe for 241 bucks. It hits for 18 to 30 and has a chance to hit twice and a chance to stun. But I'd rather have the cash right now because I'm a wizard, right? What do I need a giant two-handed battle axe for? Oof, that took a while. All right, so I'm way off the beaten path right now before I found metal. One thing I think this game does poorly is that there's a lot of like time sinks, like tracking down things that you're trying to find. Frankly, I feel like when somebody tells you where a node or a monster is, it should just be there in order to streamline the gameplay. The good news is we can harvest the metal, and we can harvest it using Mage Hand, which we got from the arcane tree, which will make this go a lot faster, and it won't be nearly as nasty on our stamina. So let's harvest all the metal real fast. All the metal is gone, and I don't think the metal actually comes back. I think if you have earth magic, you can force it to come back or something like that through just like conjuration. Oh, there's an event down here. Well, now I gotta go do the event. A hedge wall towers before you, 30 feet high and perfectly trimmed, not a leaf out of place. Its green is rich, almost glowing in the light. The scent of fresh growth and faint flowers drifts on the air, pleasant if unexpected. There is no sound, no opening, just the wall standing silent in the clearing. Detect magic. It glows faint red under your spell. It is unmistakably magical. Approach. You pace along the hedgerow for hundreds of feet before you spot an opening. Beside it is a small wooden sign, upright and proud. The Cartographers Guild of Redfern is pleased to believe you this most exciting contest for the Hearthhold Fair. This 51st year after the Empire. Find the center of the maze and open the prize chest. The first to do so will win what's inside and complete the contest. Cheaters will be punished. Two details stand out. 200 years ago was the last time the fair took place. And second, there was never a town called Redfern anywhere near here. Enter? I guess? So we can choose how we want to tackle this place. Athletics apparently is our best chance, so we'll give that a go. You are teleported out of the maze a few hundred feet from where you entered. You get acquainted with your new location, and suddenly the maze teleports away. Well, damn, that's unfortunate. I'm going to try to go back to Squall's End, I think. That way I can sort of resupply and rest for a minute before I go back to town. And now that I've done that, let's head back on up. Every single season, you're going to get like a synopsis of how your rival mages that you graduated from college were doing. And spoiler alert, I'm still a disappointment to my parents. Angus McKickham is unfortunately in 4th place right now. I don't know if this matters. In the 4 hours that I played on like my longer guy, this never really mattered and like nothing really ever happened of it. I don't know how they accumulate power and renown and stuff so fast. You waste a lot of time, though, as the player, just trying to find quest locations. And frankly, I feel like you'd be able to stick with them a lot better if things were guaranteed. So let's drop the metal off with the weaponsmith. There's your metal ore. Splendid, here's your pay. I think you'll find it's more than fair. You got time for another job? Sure, let's hear it. Could you run over and let the mayor know that his halberds will be done in 3 days? Not a bad chance for you to get into his good graces. Okay, well, like, I would like to be in your good graces, too. Let's chat for a second. I'd like to be friends with more people. I feel like I don't have very many friends right now, and it hurts my feewees. I think the mayor is inside the town center, I think. Good news, Beatrice says your halberds will be ready in 3 days. Not a day too soon. Enemies are closing in. You seem like a guy who gets things done. You want another job? Oh, I'm listening. It's these goblins that have been plaguing our town. Oh, nice. He likes us. He's our casual friend. I want you to track them for me. No need to engage just yet. Just pick up their trail and find out where their lair is at. Camp outside for a night. See who comes and goes out. The Conclave would love to get their hands on this knowledge, but I want you to bring it to me directly and nobody else, and I will pay you. Okay. You got any other jobs? How's your relationship with the Conclave? I mean, I'm from them. That might be useful. I need somebody to do some prying for me. Nothing egregious, just a little looking and listening, followed by a little running back here to fill me in. I'm not allowed in the chapter house, and I need to know why they haven't dealt with this band of goblins that's ravaging the countryside. You up for it? 4 weeks' time. All right, sure, why not? Let's go to the Conclave real quick. And I hear a band of goblins is causing trouble. Yep, random. We've already got our hands full with the faithless renegades opening up every spellbook they can find, whether banned or not, and now I get word that they've infiltrated one of our chapter houses. I don't have time to deal with a bunch of goblins. Sounds like a mess. On top of that, the mayor keeps trying to pry into our business. I know he's up to something, but he's too suspicious of mages for any of us to get close and find out what. I mean, I could tell you a bit. He said he's working with mages outside the Conclave. He's consorting with renegades? I might have known. The mayor's convinced we're plotting his overthrow, so he wants to build his own retinue of off-the-books battle mages. Seems like he trusts you. Go back and see what you can learn. Sorry, nothing to report. They're just busy with their record keeping. Then we'll deal with the goblins ourselves. The Conclave's days are numbered anyway, so let's learn to do without them. I have a purse of gold and a book of magic here on my desk. Ooh, books are good in this game. They give you access to stuff you can't get anywhere else that's like a force multiplier. Like magic books, really, really good in this game. So if we kill the 5 goblins, they're ours. All right, I can do that. That sounds like something workable. It doesn't look like they pinged any kind of goblin hive or goblin horde around here. The good news is this map seems to really like generating goblins, so I should be able to just like ask somebody where goblins are at, and then we'll be good. Goblins? 4 miles west of here. And the good news is I have quests for like every monster on Earth, and so it is goblins. All right, let's ambush them. I've been working on my stealth skill anyways. But my closing thoughts about this game and the way that it currently functions. So what I'll say off the rip is that this is a unique RPG that allows you to like sandbox it up and live out a simulated life of a young mage trying to become the ultimate wizard. The systems that I see on display here and the ideas that it's toying around with, I don't think I've seen much of anywhere else. You can chop trees, mine, all that kind of stuff, do industry, but I don't think crafting is in the game yet from what I understand. The situation with this game, though, is that they ran out of money. They had an investor that was going to come in and give them money, but that investor fell through. They couldn't afford to pay any of the programmers, but a couple of the guys got day jobs and came back to work on the game because they didn't want it to be left the way that it was. They just started hammering away on it regardless of funding. That leaves the game in a really tricky spot to recommend because I think it only has like 1 full-time dev and maybe a couple others that are working on it as like a hobby basically outside of their normal jobs. There's not really a massive guarantee of more updates, and yet since they came back, they've managed to completely rebuild the core systems and get it moving again. There are a jumble of systems here that you'll have to learn, and very few of them are going to be like intuitive. Usually in an RPG, for example, you'll get a quest, the quest giver tells you where to go, you go bang it out, you come back. In Archmage Rises, people will tell you where the quest might be, with the keyword there being might. What this means is that you'll spend a ton of time running back and forth on fake tips, and a lot of the time, harvesting raw resources is exactly the same. You walk around on tiles that someone told you about till you RNG reveal the tile, then you can harvest it forevermore. All the dialogue options and skill checks are RNG as well. This is a game that has a ton of RNG baked into it because it's mimicking like a D&D game. You will fail at finding enemies based on bad dice rolls and have to go back to town ad nauseum to get a new tip to do it again. It will be frustrating, and when you finally succeed, the tip might have been wrong and it's not the monster that you were looking for. This creates kind of like a stilted pacing that once you're in a flow with the game's system, it'll snap you out of that flow. I actually found the game to be a lot more satisfying and enjoyable, just kind of freely flowing around and exploring dungeons, tracking random monsters that I found, and if I finish my quest, then whatever. I've enjoyed the progression of the stats, and the mage spells aren't just combat related, they're useful for all kinds of utilities. You can use them to harvest, light up dungeons, tear up trees from the ground, force a tile into season so that it blooms right now instead of next season, all kinds of good stuff. I also felt like the world felt really well constructed from a lore perspective, considering it's procedural anyways. I like the way that the NPCs reference the unique history of your seed in a believable kind of eloquent way. It's pretty cool usually. Dialogue always feels procedural to me when it's based on a system like that, but there's also kind of limits to the game's content. I haven't seen any crafting in the last 4 hours, and while you can build a mage tower, there's only like a couple of rooms available. You can set up workers to harvest your nodes, almost becoming kind of like an entrepreneur wizard. And with 40 or 50 world events in-game, there is some stuff to bite down on, and I've mostly found those events to be rewarding and entertaining, but I found that monster variety was actually pretty limited if you favor a more combative approach to the world. The mounts are cool. I had a giant warbear that I was riding before I died, so that was pretty rad. And they do streamline your travel along with wizard portals that are inside your towers all over the world. But world generation is kind of rough, random, and makes no sense. There'll be weird mountains and forests in places where like a mountain or a forest would never go. It's a mixed bag in every sense of the word that's piled on top of a foundation that brims with novelty. A super unique experience that isn't for everybody, but like with its future uncertain, it's hard to recommend. The devs did come back, and they've been pushing content for the last year or so. So I'm just gonna say that like my 4 hours with Archmage Rises were frustrating. fascinating, buggy, unique, and once I figured out the game's chunky learning curve, it was enjoyable. Still, you are going to hit bugs, pacing issues, unimplemented content stubs, obnoxious mechanics. It's up to you whether or not the passionately distinct novelty of this game will outweigh the troubled history and stumbling blocks that you're going to hit playing it. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so that you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, it was Archmage Rises. Sorry for my voice at the end here. It's actually going out on me. I told you guys earlier that I was sick all this week and my voice has been a victim all day while trying to get content out. I'll see y'all later.